for this series, Michael and I had set out to do 3 whitetail deer hunts with a bow. So this will be hunt number 3, and we're going to do it a little bit different this time. We've got Michael's ground blind, which is kind of a little goofy to carry, but we're going to make it work. And we're going to go up somewhere, little transition zone between the field and timber, and set up a ground blind. I know a lot of people like to use these, and so I think we're going to give it a try this time and not do spot and stalk. We'll just kind of sit and wait. And in an ideal world, we would have had Michael and I would have both had more time to come out here, set the ground blind out a couple days in advance, but we've both been working a lot this fall, and we're just gonna kind of do one evening. And so we're gonna set it up this evening and hunt out of it and see what happens. I'm thinking that the deer are bedded up in the timber, up in the forest, and they're gonna come down to these fields that we just hiked through. So there's a small pocket just up ahead to the left, and we're gonna figure out the best wind and go set it up. It's 2:44 p.m. so we've got a couple hours until they might be feeding down. So I'm just assuming that because we're at the edge of where the actual forest starts, it's kind of scattered timber where we are. A couple hundred yards down, it's the fields, and so we're kind of in the boundary between the forest, scattered timber, and then fields. So the wind is definitely coming from the west in our face. So if we set up with our back right in this little inlet of the trees, this little depression of trees here, so we can look out and look into the wind, and then we don't need to bother looking that way because the wind is going to take our smell that way anyway. But I think this is a good little spot. So from our blind here, this small tree is 10 yards from this trail that we're on, that we saw that deer track. And then this tree up here is, that smaller tree right there is 20 yards. So looks like a pretty well traveled trail, and we saw a decent sized deer track in it. So there's another trail right here, and I just think this is a good spot. So hopefully we'll see something coming down on this trail or out this way, and wind isn't terrible, but could be better. A little windy today.
Yeah, if it hits them right there, the wind.
Yeah.
Hopefully they just stand there for a sec for you to shoot it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives you a second to shoot.
Didn't think about that.
Because it's pretty much left, like
going straight.
Yeah. So it's gonna hit them right when they're right there.
Yeah.
So you might want to shoot them before they get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically just sideways going right that way.
Cool. Let's get in that blind.
Sweet. That'll be the one.
So now if a deer comes, you're ready to go.
I gotcha, that makes sense. Right. Oh, it's about 6:40. We've got about half an hour of shooting light left, and this is drawn to a close on our third of 3 hunts. And if anything, got to see a new area, got to hunt a new area, and this is my first time sitting in a ground blind, so this is really cool to see how this is implemented, and it's not that heavy, and I think it's a really cool thing to be able to use. So yeah, if anything, got to come outside, see some new territory, and sit in a ground blind for the first time. So learned a lot on these last 3 hunts. Got to come to full draw on that doe, and that was pretty cool, but just didn't feel 100%, so I didn't pull the trigger on that one. But there will be more chances in the future, and just always good to get outside and try new methods of hunting. So this has been pretty cool, and you don't even need a ground blind, as you saw before. You can just kind of spot and stalk or still hunt. Find a friend who's got some gear to borrow, like Michael. I'm borrowing this. We're using his ground blind. But yeah, if you've got someone who's got a tree stand, have them show you how to do it and follow all the proper protocols and get up in a tree stand if you want to do it that way. But yeah, you don't need a whole lot to get out and get hunting.
Have you had fun?
And is hunting fun?
I have had fun, and hunting is fun. Yeah, my heart was pounding it when I was at full draw on that doe. I was just, there's nothing quite like having the animal that you're after within shooting range, and safety's off or you're at full draw. It's just like totally heart pounding, and just really gets you really excited. And just last season was my first season sort of hunting. Didn't really get as into it as I am this season, but you just get an itch for it, and you can't. It's just addicting. So we're coming up on the end of bow season here, and rifle's gonna start here pretty soon. But I definitely know I'll still be out with a bow even during rifle season, just because it's so fun to be so close to the animals that you're after, and just being in shooting range of what you came for is just it's really, really fun, and it's a thrill like nothing else. So yeah, however you can get out there, if with a tree stand, a ground blind, just on foot, get out there and try it, because it's been a blast.